Welcome and thank you to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is Thank God It's Tuesday. T actually recorded that track before the show in his van, his windowless van out in front of the building.
Yeah, my sound studio van.
That's right.
Yeah, we're getting crazy.
The magic.
Here, dude.
We're
going to add new elements every week.
Newest element to my left, Mr. Kevin Ricca.
This week, we're going to add the element of some really weird shit.
The official
This show brought to you by Ken Marangolo, by the
Washington
way.
NFL podcast of Hogs Haven. Appreciate all you folks from Hogs Haven giving us a watch. Do us a favor. Click on the First Amendment Sports subscribe button. It's free. Get a notification of every time we put shows out. We're having a lot of fun in June when there's clearly so much football being played. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make our own fun. There are a couple of sundry items to kind of clean up before we get to today's main event. And I just wanted to remind everyone we're still not trading for Aaron Rodgers. And in the newest
Yet.
We're still not trading for Julio Jones. Kevin?
No.
Yet.
No.
T?
Yet.
We're not trading for any of those guys.
Yet.
Nope. Not happening.
We're getting somebody, but it ain't one of those guys.
Hold on to hope.
It's not going to be one of those guys.
You want more old balls on the roster? Just old balls?
Oh.
All right.
We do have some already. I mean, we're mixing some in.
We got a couple.
We got a couple. But I love the – I think people are really realistic about this. And
Really?
I don't
You think Julio Jones is old?
– yes.
In receiver years, yes.
I mean, he's
Okay.
– and the other thing is he costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that he
And
does.
he's going to cost a lot in trade.
So does that Rodgers guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both great players. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that's where we are right now. And I think no one is out there saying that this has to happen. But I do hear the occasional, hey, he's available, therefore. And I'm like.
Way more
really?
Aaron Rodgers than Julio.
That's right.
I mean, obviously a quarterback is a blah, blah, blah. But neither.
Welcome to all of our friends on the board. Let me see if I can't even get all these in. We got Robert, Greg, AGH, James, EO, Rhett, Joe. And that's just the beginning. I mean, I'm going on a first-name basis with this crew. We're going to need your help tonight. We do have something fun, I believe, in store. We'll see how fun it is. We're going to give it a shot. Tonight, we are casting our favorite players on the Washington football team in some admittedly old school shows. Now, the reason why I did this, guys, is because
You've got old balls.
I don't know if we have enough. I don't know if we have enough time for that.
we're going to start on the old side, and then if it works out, we'll give it a little. And there's a little bit of a newness to it all, but we're going to recast some of these characters with our favorite players. I've tasked Kevin Ricca. He's got a two deep in front of him. We're going to go down the row. We're going to get put some names out there, and we're going to see, based on how the conversation goes about each player, where they belong in these shows. And we do have some help tonight. I want to welcome our friend Kyle to the show. He's going to let's just show some of these shows that we're gonna cast our favorite players in. Who do we got up first? All right, so that's not a new show, but it's a great one. Three's Company, some good characters there, by the way. Unpictured,
One of my
a
favorite
great
shows
character.
of all time.
It's a great show.
I was not allowed to watch it, so it's
I know.
definitely one of my favorites.
It's
'cause
absolutely.
I did watch it.
Larry
Chrissy.
and Mr. Furley are also eligible characters to be used. What's next, Kyle? See, now this show has the classic
Got a lot of
characters, and I think there's definitely some sports analogies there. What do we got next?
Potential.
Great theme song, too. Okay, you saw it in the title of the show. If you were watching on Hogs Haven, you know where my head's out right out of the gate, but we'll get there. That's Lethal Weapon. That's Riggs and Murtaugh. What's next, Kyle? So, again, a little bit newer, but still pretty darn old. Two great characters. I think the movie has a few other characters that are worth considering, but
No Gimp. We take him out Tiger Woods style.
Yeah,
we're taking him out.
Yeah, he can go.
He's not eligible. Not eligible. But those two guys are.
Kyle, don't bring out the Gimp.
Don't bring out the Gimp, Kyle. All right, what's next? Okay, so
Classic.
an all-time great and an all-time great sports movie, great sports characters, Paulie, Mickey, obviously Apollo and Rocky. Got some options here. Right on, my brain's percolating. What do we got next, Kyle?
For the record, I have no idea what we're doing, but I'm going to do my best.
That's okay. Now, The Simpsons I threw in. This is your catch-all show. It's new and it's old. It's got 1 million characters, and I know that some of you people on the boards will be able to actually do an entire Simpsons character recasting. But Simpsons is gonna save us. That's my bet. Is if we can't think of somewhere to go, Simpsons is gonna be a good landing spot. What else, Kyle?
Simpsons did it.
Stranger Things, probably the newest show besides The Simpsons, on the list. It's a cult favorite. I feel like people have watched it. I think the characters are great. We'll see if there's anything we can do with this. I'm not sure. I threw it in there because it's newer and Rhett's a millennial, so I had to give him something. What's next?
That's all for Rhett.
The Office. Oh, an old show indeed, but probably the most watched show during the pandemic.
Can I just say that none of those MFers are starting on my defense?
Creed? I feel like Creed plays just a little dirty.
Creed, yeah.
Meredith? I don't know. You're right. She's not allowed on the field. What's next, Kyle? And The Office is the last one. All right, so we have our framework, okay? Now, I'm going to get things started with a player.
I wish we had way more kickers because there were a lot of good kickers.
I don't want any kickers.
We're not doing the British Office. AGH, of course, our UK guy wants to do the British Office. We're not going to do the British Office because the American Office is better. Everyone knows that AGH.
What's the original?
What's that?
Now look what you started.
I know. I'm starting an international war. And probably one worth fighting. We're going to start with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, I have already given you my thought, but again, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the old ball's in the room, obviously. We'll just get started right there, I guess. Badass. I think for the most part, he wants to play by the rules, willing to bend them, always willing to bend them, and I mean, he's going to do everything. His partner. I mean, he's the consummate teammate, which I think elevates him above Riggs. I love Riggs. I think Riggs is one of the all-time great movie characters. But to me, I'm too tired for this shit. Murtaugh. That's my Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Well, what was yours?
Okay. My Murtaugh or my Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I would probably – I do appreciate Ken's attempt. I get it. I would look at him more like a Sam Malone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just sort of, he's just got a little bit of savvy to him, a little bit of wisdom, after all he's been through. I could sing him slinging a beer or two over a counter, having a good conversation, making sure,
No beard though. I mean, Murtaugh doesn't have a beard either,
true.
but I mean, you're willing to
just the same swagger, in my opinion, as a Sam Malone.
All right. Well, I guess I go. I'm going with Homer Simpson.
What?
Over 100 dudes have picked this dude off. I'm just saying. You guys have heard me say this.
Well,
all
that's
offseason.
why I thought he was more of a Riggs than a
We're going to play
Murtaugh.
some sick-ass defense. Our defense is going to be mauling somebody, and all of a sudden, it's going to be a long possession. He's going to come out there and chuck a pick. Then our defense is going to run back out on the field. He's also going to make some huge plays. He's going to. But I got to go with the Homer because
Super
Man.
lovable, but it might make you angry every
I'm
once in a
just
while.
saying, yes, he's gonna, and that Dole, it's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen a lot. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
You're
the
Get
first.
used to it. It's
The only
gonna
way
happen.
he's more like Riggs than Murtaugh is he could look at a DB and say, "Do you want me to throw it? Do you wanna? Do you wanna?
Right.
You want me to throw it?"
I don't care what color jersey you've got.
Give us another player, Kev.
All right.
All right, you want to stick on the offensive side? I mean,
Anything you got?
I don't know, man. How about we just get the obvious big dogs out of the chamber and get Chase Young put right out there?
Chase Young.
Just get after it.
He's already got his movie spot, which was none of the ones that we put up.
Well, you got to pick one of the ones that we put up.
But he's the Predator.
Nope, that's not
All
one
right.
of the options.
Can he be one of the
For a
beasts
lawyer,
in
you
Stranger
certainly don't
Things?
follow the rules ever.
Well, no, because I can actually argue why he should just be the Predator and not
That
one
makes
of these
you
guys.
makes
He
you-
is the monster in Stranger Things.
There you go. That we found that I can live with.
Okay.
Still alive, I believe. I mean, they haven't been able to kill this thing across 4 seasons, so that you'll at least give Chase Young that benefit.
Because he's a monster. That's what he is.
That's fair.
Not your personality, Chase.
I love it.
The way he plays.
Unstoppable. He's an
Unstoppable.
unstoppable force
Right
of
now he
nature. I'll take that. I mean, what were you going to say for Chase Young?
I have 11 written down because he's young and he's here for the greater good.
He's got powers he's not even sure he's tapped into yet.
He had an early season injury. Next thing you know, he's the captain, defensive rookie of the year. You know what I mean? Like
go.
he just put this team on his back a little bit. I never saw any nosebleeds, but I don't. And by the way, I also don't know what the hell's going on. So
Yes,
I
you
just
do.
went
You're
11.
doing it. You're doing it.
doing
I went
great.
with
You're
11.
doing
I
it
know.
right
I'm just
now.
saying.
We're doing it. Give us another
I
name.
have no idea.
You're up on Chase Young. Who's your
Yeah,
Chase?
you have it.
You didn't chase it.
I got it. I got him as our Rocky. I got him as Rocky Balboa. I think he drinks a glass of raw eggs in the morning, punches raw meat in the freezer. I think he absolutely is the alpha hero of this team.
I don't think he's beaten any meat in the freezer, and that egg shake that you're talking about is not happening either. But I like it that he's Rocky Balboa.
It's Ken's opinion.
Come on. But I could be wrong.
I don't want all our young fans like Rhett to go out beating all.
No, Rhett's
Punch
Rhett knows
me.
about beating meat. Okay.
No.
Rhett's old enough
doesn't
to
work.
know
No, it's
what's
the raw
going on.
eggs. The
all
raw
right?
eggs doesn't work. It's salmonella. All right, new player.
What do you got?
I'm going to stay on the defensive side and go with his partner, Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat.
Anyone? I'm going to venture from the board. By the way, as you
Now,
guys
let's
are
get
thinking
some
about
board
that,
action. Some board action.
Ivan Drago was Greg Martin's or McBain from The Simpsons, which McBain's actually pretty hilarious. There's definitely some American Office versus English Office competitions going on.
I never thought I'd be part of a podcast that was hosting an American versus English Office conversation. Amazing.
Dreams do come true. Dreams do come true. So Montez Sweat, for me, because he is, I'll go ahead and take a swag at this one because he's a partner for Chase Young. He's on the other side. He's a partner in crime. He's super nasty. I think he's got a little shoot the hostage in him. I'm going Riggs. I think he's got just a screw loose, and I love it. I think you can't have a good defense in the National Football League without one or two guys who are willing to bare knuckle brawl somebody in the front yard, in part 1 and part 2 for that matter. And I also think if in this case, if Ryan Fitzpatrick was on the toilet that had the bomb strapped to it, I think Montez Sweat would have been right there with him. I do. It would have been a nice moment. He's Riggs.
I'm going to co-sign with Riggs.
There you go.
Look how that happened.
I'm going to make him Murtaugh.
The people on the board are saying that Montez Sweat is Murtaugh for sure.
Look,
I don't know why.
He's somewhat of a gentle giant. He's not as glitzy and as he comes to work. He's dependable.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
He's always going to do it right. He's my Murtaugh.
All right, we're going to move it on over back to the offensive side of the ball, and I'm going with Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin.
Well, I
want to go first? Anyone have something?
I do.
Okay.
He's Larry from Three's Company.
See, I was going Three's Company with him, but I was going to go somewhere different. But go ahead, Larry. By the way,
Because it rhymes.
a great character.
Because he's I don't know. He just
Is always there. Always there when you need him.
He's always there when you need him.
so
He's always
Larry.
open.
He's so Larry.
He's always open.
He's
You're
always
right.
open.
He is always open. You
Okay.
know, ladies love him.
Sidebar trivia question. In the show, what was Larry's last name? God. You might change your answer, sir.
McLaurin.
It's not McLaurin.
That
Way
would be
worse.
Dorsett.
What is it?
Close.
Aikman.
Dallas.
Oh, Larry
His
Dallas.
damn name was Larry Dallas.
I think it's a made-up name.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's Larry.
No, his name was Larry Dallas. Google your machines.
I would say you have one for Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I also have I have a partnership going here, and I'm going with Vince Vega. Pulp Fiction. I'm going with Travolta's character. You know, he's just been kind of the
about
guy on
Pulp
the
Fiction.
scene long term, and it's gonna partner up with Jules Winfield with me with Curtis Samuel. These two dudes were at Ohio State together, plotting and scheming 5 years later when they'd be the starting wideouts for the football team, and I think Curtis Samuel is
Jules?
He's Jules.
You think he's that bad?
Yeah, I do. I think the way we use him is going to be that bad. If you've seen a guy touch the
like
ball
the
in a
way you're
certain
thinking.
part of the field, last year there's about 5 guys that got it everywhere. Wait till you see what we do with this guy. He already knows what's up. He's not coming into a new offense. He knows how we're going to use him. He knows the terminology. He's got it all. This dude is going to be our force from week 1. So, yeah. Say it again. Say it again.
One more time. Say it one more time. Every time my fingers touch brains. All right. I think that's probably the best character match that we've had
For
so
those
far.
two, yes.
Keep us going.
All right. Let's go back to D. We got Jonathan Allen.
I'll go ahead on first on this one, and I'm going to go to the bar to cheers. I have Jonathan Allen. I have him as Fraser Crane, a juggernaut character. If there who everyone slept on. I thought that ultimately got his own show, which became one of the all-time greatest sitcoms in its own right. But he was just all of a sudden you were like, wait, Frasier is an all-time great character, and for the longest time, people didn't give him his due, and for the longest time, some of the greatest scenes with the way he interacted with the other characters at the bar, again, part of that line on the bar, couldn't do it without Frasier.
I personally have always hated Frasier. I've never gotten the
I understand that, but
never got the attraction of Frasier.
he was a
never a
workhorse.
Frazier guy either, but I'm willing to co-sign right now, meaning you have to come up with the Jonathan Allen on your own.
Norm.
I like that. I like the Frazier.
He's Norm. He's look, I think Norm probably played some damn good football in his earlier years, okay, first and foremost. So he's got the athleticism. When he comes to
Norm
the bar,
never played
when he
a
comes to
down.
the bar,
Played shit.
everybody is happy. Everybody knows him. It's Norm.
I know, but what about Norm's
Jonathan!
fat ass screams athlete at you? Norman is a big old fatso sitting at the end of the bar.
He played some mean football, dude. Are you kidding? I wouldn't fuck with Norm. Would you fuck with Norm?
Well,
I wouldn't fuck
no
with
one's doing anything with Norm. I understand. No one wants any piece of Norm.
No, but they all love him.
They all love him.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Then we're going to go with his sidekick, Deron Payne.
Well, you felt
Is
so
anyone
strongly
saying
about
any
Norm.
funny shit on the board?
They got Terry McLaurin as Sam. They got, I don't know, AGH is going down the absolute rabbit hole of The Office, which I appreciate. Jonathan Allen is Robert Cohen's Jack Tripper. And he is, Greg is trying to find the personality in some of these characters. I feel like we're helping you out here, Greg. Some of these players, it has been hard to see the personality in players, I think, to some extent. The cool thing about this current team is that the personality of the team is Ron Rivera's personality. That's awesome. That's what we want. I don't need 50 weird different personalities.
Oh, you mean the Wolf, Ron Rivera?
The Wolf.
That's all we had to do.
That's all we had to do.
These years, we didn't call him. Finally, we did. That's all you had to say.
Oh, it's West Wing. AGH was going West Wing. Sorry, buddy. I did not catch that.
James Rainey's playing his own game.
That's
different.
oftentimes
That's
the
par
case.
for the course.
Yes. Deep Space
That's why
Nine.
we love him.
I don't know much about Deep Space Nine, but I trust you.
Rich kids
If you tell me that
don't
Jonathan Allen
know
is Commander Cisco, I will believe you, sir. What's our next
All
one?
right, let's go with the Rook, Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis. Who's that going to be?
So he's new. We don't know a lot about him. I think we got to go to The Office here. The Office was very good at introducing new characters. So he's not an original character of The Office.
Which one of those is Jamin Davis?
Well, first of all, you got to go to The Office itself. We're not restricted to those 7 people. I'm going to go with the new character, Andy Bernard, who came in a little bit kooky, a little bit weird. I think he ultimately became the general manager of the whole operation and probably a fan favorite. But I thought that I think Jamin Davis, by the way, I think he's going to stir the Kool-Aid for a long time in the middle of that defense. And I don't think that people quite get yet how strong he is, how fast he is, and how big he is. And when Ron Rivera puts him in a position to succeed the way he's going to do this season, it's going to be something special. Interestingly, in a former iteration of this show, in a former life, when I was doing this, before I even had a basement to do it in, another defensive end linebacker edge guy from Kentucky came on the show. I got a chance to talk to him at length multiple times, and it ended up being one of the more entertaining interviews, which kind of ties into this whole theme. Jeremy Jarman. He was a theater guy at University of Kentucky, and he delivered the monologue from A Few Good Men, the Jack Nicholson scene. It was amazing. We only had it on audio, but I'm pretty sure he was standing on something, screaming it into the phone as he was talking to us. It was pretty amazing. And he didn't have the greatest career here, but it was fun.
I was racking my brain. Kentucky D lineman.
I think he was a supplemental draft pick. I think we got him. Yeah. I think we used a third round in the supplemental to pick him up. I mean, he was obviously athletic and a lot of potential, but didn't really pan out in the NFL, unfortunately, because he did a great Jack Nicholson.
All right, well, I'm going Ralph Furley for my Jamin Davis. Come on, dude. At the end of the month, he's always going to have that money. It's going to be about 5 years of it, so it seems like a 5-year lease to me, and that's what I'm going with, Mr. Furley.
He was the greatest.
Straight up, collecting that paper.
There's nothing wrong with Mr. Furley. First of all, we couldn't do this segment with Three's Company as an option and not have a Mr. Furley, so thank you, Kevin.
That's true.
Got it.
You did it. Give us another one.
All right, let's get back over to the offensive side. Antonio Gibson.
All right. So as we're thinking about his character, he's multiple. He does a lot of things well. Plays a hell of a receiver. Obviously, as a gifted running back, he's fast. He's strong. He's thick. He is everything you want in a modern-day running back because he's not just a running back. He can play 3 downs because he does all those things well, but you can also hand off to him 3 times every single 4-down set. I'm staying in the office, and I'm going Jim Halpern on this. Just an all-star.
I don't really know much about The Office, so
you're not an Office guy. Is that just coming out now?
I am not.
Okay.
Near,
okay.
Like I have no Office in me. Sorry.
I love The Office, but go ahead. What else?
You just made Jim Halpern. You just made Krasinski freaking Antonio
First of all,
Gibson.
he is an
I get
action.
what he's trying.
He's an action star now.
Pam's gonna be so excited.
He is.
I would say he's more of a Dwight Schrute than a Jim.
E.O. Anderson thinks he's Dwight
does
too.
So many things. I mean, he's so multiple, and if you just ask him to do it, he'll do it. So,
All right.
E.O. Anderson said the exact same thing at the exact same time.
yeah. Well,
Then let's
E.O.
go with that.
Let's go with that.
I think that's we bottled that.
We bottled that up.
All right. Let's get into the secondary a little bit. Landon Collins. This is going to be an interesting one. I want to hear people's opinions on old Landon Collins.
Former Giant. All pro. Does he have any All-Pro credits to his resume at this point?
I think
at least
2.
one. Okay.
I'll tell you, if we could keep this in the office.
What do you
he's
got?
my Crete.
Really?
Yeah, just because he came from the I don't know him. I don't totally trust him, but he's he can be a tough dude.
I think he's Jack
Do
Tripper.
some dirty shit.
He is my Jack Tripper.
All right.
He kind of swags on up to the line of scrimmage. He gets all up close and personal. I feel like
I don't see Jack.
You don't see Jack Tripper from Three's Company? I don't know. I got to tell you.
I've got Apollo Creed because here is the comeback time
I'm
for
saving
Landon
him,
Collins. The comeback time.
Yeah.
This guy was first in the NFL for 3-4 straight years, getting off the defense on 3rd down plays. He hadn't really figured out his role and his niche yet. He hadn't become too comfortable when he went out.
You're in the right.
He's a bad dude, and he's going to be.
You're in the right part of the field. Just wrong guy, I think, in my opinion.
Wait, who did you have Landon Collins as?
Crete, you don't know. He's from The Office. He's kind of creepy, but capable of doing damage.
Why is Landon Collins creepy? He's the
Yeah,
best
he's not
guy. He's like
creepy.
the nicest guy on our team. He's our captain.
I don't know. He just hasn't shown me anything.
I mean,
Kind of in The Office there.
so I
Capable of doing some crazy
I love
He's
The
an
Office.
all-pro.
but
Multiple. He's shown you what he can do.
I have no idea what we're doing. I'm doing,
you can go with
None
Creed
of
if
this
you
is
want,
right.
but
Of course
as far as
not.
Landon Collins is concerned,
We're good. We got our picks.
I mean, just to finish up the Landon Collins thing, we finished the season last year as one of the league's best defenses.
without him.
We added Jamin Davis. We added William Jackson. The fact that we are starting off the season with those players and Landon Collins is tantalizing. I mean,
you can't say without him. We didn't become us till about midway through the season.
That's right.
Without an off season in a pandemic year, it had nothing to do with Landon Collins not being out there. Why we were so good on defense. The guy's a stud.
getting him with an off season and with these other players. Again, by the way, but let's take a sidebar. Let me ask you if you recognize these names, because this, by the way, I got this today. As long as we're talking about Landon Collins, when I got this today, I was thinking to myself, what in the world have we gotten ourselves into when we're talking about defense? Donovan Wilson, DeMonte KZ. Do those names mean anything to you?
Not a thing.
Those are the starting safeties for the Dallas Cowboys defense as of today. I mean, at corner, Trevon Diggs, Kelvin Joseph, and Anthony Brown. I understand a couple of those guys can play in the league.
Is Larry Dallas on that roster?
Larry Dallas should be. Now, they do got a Micah Parsons
Nickel
on there.
corner. Larry Dallas. Nickel
Larry
corner.
Dallas.
Nice.
I mean, when I think about what we are going to be putting on the field in the secondary, I do think you have to put it in perspective that what we have with Cam Curl and Landon Collins, and then by the way, we just signed a hell of a safety. Stole him really. McBain to get out there and play for us. So I mean, we are such a step ahead in terms of who we're putting out there. Again, getting Landon Collins back. I mean, Kevin, don't you expect that they're going to be able to not call him a linebacker, but play him in a lot more situations closer to the line?
He knows damn well he's a box guy, but he's not limited just to a box guy.
That's right.
He is a tad bit limited in coverage, and I don't love his salary cap scenario coming off this injury, but I do believe he's a badass and he's going to have a great year for us. I do.
I love him. He might even be more Bart Simpson than anything. Just totally integral. That's awesome work, Kyle. Amazing work. I love it.
Mr. Burns is definitely Dan Snyder, right? Can we write that down?
100%.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, good.
100%. Dan Snyder is Mr. Burns. Let's move on.
Awesome.
Can we do Ron Rivera? Because I think that would be.
I got him as the Wolf. Harvey Keitel and Pulp Fiction.
Fixer. Yeah, well, absolutely.
That's what I said. That's all you had to say.
That's all you had to say. I love it. I think there's an amazing picture which I saw when I was going through it today, or someone sent out when it's like Harvey Keitel holding a cup of coffee, looking like almost at the camera, saying like this caption is, don't let someone getting shot in the face ruin a good cup of coffee, something like that. And he's just like this, and Jules and Vince are covered in blood in the background.
Meanwhile, by the way, he's the Wolf. It's a great character.
Yep.
He's the fixer. They call him up. He was like, clean up the blood from the car. Like, he didn't do any wolf shit. Like,
No.
He just did regular stuff. Like, that's what we didn't have. We weren't doing regular shit. We were doing this terrible. Like, all you have to do, just treat everyone normally. Don't be horrible to all the women in the building. Let's stop drafting turds and paying 90-year-olds $5 billion. We did it.
It's a hell of a way to run a team. A hell of a way to run a team. Let's do a couple more. We don't have to go through the entire roster, but let's pick out a few more. Greg Martin says Troy Acme is Ralph Wiggum. By the way, Troy Acme getting some play the last few days. I saw someone was sending around his 40 time like they were. I mean, he's obviously fast.
Nothing to see here.
But they were trolling him for sure.
Matt Ioannidis. He was like 5 different guys for me, so that's why I want to throw him in there before we stop.
He was my norm.
Matt Ioannidis.
But
it's a
he's
good
the
norm.
cop. He's the cop from Stranger Things.
He's going to be good all of these things.
Hopper?
Yeah.
Hopper's a good call.
Matt Ioannidis is Hopper. That's a great call.
I got him, I don't know. I mean, I can, but I got him as Fat Tony in The Simpsons. He's a Jersey guy, played at Rutgers. I figured he would just like F somebody up, whatever, but maybe not. He seems like a really nice guy.
He seems like a perfectly nice guy. You don't want to be on the wrong side of him.
Right.
He's going to collect every
You
Friday.
want him on your side and pick up basketball, or else it's going to be really annoying.
Nelson Muntz is Greg Martin's Tony Ioannidis. But
Or Matt Ioannidis. I had him as Fat Tony.
yeah, I think Fat Tony is a great one. HEH, I'm just going to keep saying what you're saying, HEH, because you're in Wales, and it's literally 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's true.
So if you think
Very
Coach
true,
Rivera
HEH.
is President Bartlett from the West Wing, more power to you, sir. We are a show for everyone.
I
And
think
the fact,
HEH is drinking tonight.
well, it's the irony is he's pumping the British office, yet he's also pumping a show about the American presidency. So it's a real situation going on over there in the United Kingdom, and I just think it deserves a little bit of attention. What do we got, Kev?
Kendall Fuller.
Homegrown,
Yes, very important.
came back home, proving that you can come back home. I think there's a lesson there. I don't know.
He's my Apollo Creed.
He's your Apollo Creed. Okay.
Because you want your best corner to have that bravado, to have that swagger, to have that, I don't give a shit, I'm the best. And, I know it doesn't fit his true personality, his real personality, but the no humility. I mean, in that, when he screws up, next, I'm still the greatest. That's the kind of confidence. And Apollo Creed is the
keep
kind
fighting.
of confidence you want.
He was the
your
champ. Kendall
best.
won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'm with Kendall. I like that. I'm good with him.
I'm good with that.
Apollo.
I'm definitely good
All
with
right,
that.
I got two names left, unless you guys got a couple, but we got to go. I saved the big hog. Well, 3.0s.
Yep.
For last. Let's go with Roulier, man. This
Chase?
dude is very interesting to me. All I keep hearing about is how much they love him, how much he keeps improving. He's getting bigger. He's getting faster. Like, he's improving his athleticism. Like, I love this dude. We have him on such a good deal for the next couple of years. They're talking about him being a Pro Bowler in the next year or two. He's really adapting to this offense, and man, I have no idea. But so I went Chrissy.
Oh,
I did it.
I can't believe I was trying to figure out a way to bring in Janet and Chrissy.
What's the most obvious, beautiful thing there is on one of these deals? And that's
It's
obviously
definitely-
your center being a badass, getting better, and being on the mountain to the All-Pro.
Has nothing to do with the fact that bent over, throwing a ball back. I mean, I'm just saying. It's just,
How dare you,
I'm just-
sir?
by the way, watch
I've done
that
that for
show.
him.
Watch that show again and tell me that the censor wasn't just like a finger on the button at all times with the outfits that Chrissy and Janet
No,
were wearing.
It was
I still think Terry was the hottest.
yeah.
Terry, of
That's-
course.
That's where you guys are both wrong.
Suzanne-
It's
no.
Suzanne Summers.
I'm a
Chrissy.
convert. I was once a believer like you. I thought Terry was, but I was wrong. I admitted it, and I made my amends. It's Suzanne Summers. The early Chrissy days are insane.
I mean, look at the picture. Like it would look weird if it was Terry. That's Three's Company. That's the original trio.
cast, sure.
That's the original three. That's the
Terry
best
was
three.
Mr. Furley over Mr. Roper, though, for me. And I don't think that's necessarily – even though Mr. Roper was great, I don't dislike Mr. Roper.
If the spinoff was the two of them together,
Roper and Furley?
Roper and Furley.
That would have been a great show.
Furley was a little on the goofier side. Roper had some –
dark. He had some
yeah,
dark.
he had a little – but he also had like a little sarcasm, a little – he wasn't so goofy.
He was un-California. He was not California-like.
Yeah.
He was a transplant, would be my guess. Roper, he was a California. All right.
Is there – go
I
ahead.
got one left.
Of course.
Brandon Sheriff, man.
Yep.
The sheriff. As we go from the deputy to the sheriff. Mr. Roper, right? The
I
Griffith
guess,
Show?
but I kind of had him – I was going to The Simpsons for Brandon.
No, I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
We just came from
Oh, the
Don
deputy to the
Knotts.
sheriff. Gotcha.
That was my – never mind.
Sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't catch –
I'm
didn't
trying
pick up what
here,
you were
Ken.
laying down.
I'm trying here. You have
We
to
all
pick up
are.
if I'm laying that down.
I thought he made I thought he's a great Barney. Not because necessarily that he has a drinking problem like Barney, but a super dependable buddy who, I don't know, I think is one of the most beloved characters on the show. Anyone who's watched The Simpsons for 30 plus years like I have, I think you just got to love yourself some Barney. And Brandon Sheriff to me is I'm going to be pissed if and when he's not on our roster. It's going to make me upset.
Something's going to happen here shortly.
I hope
And
so.
Brandon Sheriff is going to be my Rocky because he's the best player in our freaking team, in my opinion, at certain times. I want him back so badly, and I think he's going to sign that deal. That's going to make him the highest paid guard in the NFL right here at home because he's perfect for this offense. And then he's going to jog up to the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and we're all going to surround him in a gray sweatsuit.
I hope so.
He's my Rocky. Brandon Sheriff this is what's going to happen in June. He's going to sign with us. We want him to. We're going to have him and Chase side by side. We got some awesome prospects coming around. If we solidify those two, and then with the draft we just had, plus some of the what we've stockpiled.
I got Cosme starting in week 1 this year. And I think that's ridiculous, but I think that's what's happening.
Right
Why
tackle.
not? Why not start at right tackle week 1?
I
Cornelius
think
Lucas is a life swing tackle. That's fine. He does a great job at it. He can do a great job at it when we need him.
I'm super excited about the ability. Plus, if to run that, we talk about it every week, that 21 offense, you got to be believable.
21
both
personnel.
sides.
We never really got to it the
Nope.
way we wanted to.
Yep.
We will. And you said it last week. You said it the week before. After we saw Cosme, that's when we were like, okay, bye everyone else that used to play O-line here.
Yeah.
Oh.
The defense has to believe.
Something.
They have to believe that we can go either way.
Yes.
And with Cosme on the right side, I think that they're going to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you guys playing along. It's a tough time in football. There's not any football going on.
That was weird.
But there's a lot of TV going on. And I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised. There's about 10 trillion different shows people can watch. I thought The Office, I never knew you never watched The Office before. We don't have to talk about The Office right now, but it's not your wheelhouse.
The idea of being in this office right here has totally been freaking me out for months.
Yeah.
I was in a cubicle for way too long at one point in my life, which was like 4 to 5 months, I believe, and I just can't do it.
How about,
sorry.
let me ask you this. Is there a Mickey from Rocky? Is there a Mickey in our building? Del Rio? Is Del Rio firing people up that way?
It was Joe Bugle.
It was Joe
He had the
Bugle.
stature too. Mick was a little fiery Irishman, man.
I don't see a.
You can
Joe
go. We can
Bugle
go
type
historic
on
here.
this
Is there a Flanders?
Yeah, Pat Fisher historically is Mick.
Pat
That's
Fisher
my pick.
historically
Yes.
is Mick.
Yes.
How about Flanders? Just kind of a goody two shoes.
John Beck,
Oh, that's great.
the BYU quarterback I just heard do a podcast the other day, said darn 19 times. And I was like, I want this
That's
guy to say
hilarious.
shit so bad.
He's like a quick QB guru
He
now,
is.
right?
He's doing a great job, man.
What about Janet? The lesser of the two. You would prefer Suzanne, but Chrissy. But there's Janet. Kind of like a consolation prize.
Santana Moss.
Go on. All right, you just got weird. You just got weird.
I'm so curious. where this is
I
going.
got to hear
short.
this. Okay, he was short.
Short.
Go ahead. We're listening.
idea.
And Cliff Clavin was the other
Short.
one. A know-it-all
Short with dark
mailman. A true lunch pail worker. Graded on people a little bit, but everyone kind of loved him. Anyone in our history reminds you of Cliff Clavin. On the field, off the
See, the
field.
I was
know-it-all
going to say
thing is what
Roulier.
gets you.
I was going to say
The know-it-all
Roulier
thing is what
was
gets you.
Cliff Clavin.
But it's the know-it-all aspect also.
Yeah, you want your center to know fucking everything.
Bostic.
You want him to know
Jeff
everything.
Bostic. Yeah, Jeff
And you want him to be dependable in the rain, the snow, no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, but Bostic also thought he knew everything, which is why I went with him with Cliff Clavin.
He definitely-
on and off the field. As T and I well know. We'll leave that one right there also.
How about Paulie from Rocky?
Yeah, that's just it's not a good comp
It's not
for anybody.
It's not a good comp.
Who's like,
But I think we can go
Vinny
there.
Serrato.
There you go. I think that a hanger's on,
I'd much rather hang out with Paulie than Serrato.
of course. But he was definitely a hanger-oner, whatever you would call that.
He was also a brother-in-law, which made him family too, which
Yeah.
kind of convoluted the whole scenario.
Certainly did.
I mean, he stepped up his game from Habitampas to Cubans, and I'm sure he went from Schlitz to something nice. Just saying.
All right. Well, listen, we're making the most of a whatever you would call it. It's never a slow time in the NFL, but we do have the opportunity to have a little bit of fun and being able to talk about our players in a little bit of a different way. Greg Martin wants to know who Chris Cooley is. Robert Cohen wants to know who LeVar Arrington is.
Cooley is Dustin, baby. Dustin from Stranger Things.
Dustin gets crazy love, even though he's unpictured in that one. But Dustin is. I was trying to think of someone for Dustin.
The haircut, man. You got to
Yeah.
go with the Cooley locks with Dustin, with the hat on. Picture Dustin's rocking a WFT hat. I don't know.
I was going to say LeVar Arrington would have been the monster from Stranger Things also. He was just an absolute
Yeah, he was a
force
monster.
of nature as well, in a different way of chasing. He kind of, he hit himself out of the league probably ultimately. James Rainey said Joe Gibbs is Ned Flanders. Probably true. Any Mayor Quimby's? Any Mayor Quimby's out there? A little bit of, I don't know, maybe we can go outside just the Redskins.
Isn't that Allen?
Who?
Allen?
George Allen? Mm-hmm. As Mayor Quimby? I can take that. I can live with that. Not Bruce. Not Bruce Allen. We're not going to say Bruce. Bruce Allen gets no good characters. Greg, come on, dude. Watch Stranger Things. I understand you're Simpsons all day. You'll love Stranger Things. Give it a watch.
I love Stranger Things.
Good show.
It's a great show.
Good show.
And Hopper, by the way, I'm glad
He's a great character.
He was mentioned tonight. He's an offensive lineman type.
Yes.
Yes.
Dependable.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna think
that
about
was a great call.
An evil Bruce Allen character. I'll give it to the board. Who do you guys want? Of all these shows, of all these casts,
He's the Gimp.
No, I wouldn't even. No, because I'm not bringing him out ever. Somebody at some point looked forward to the Gimp coming out. No one ever. Great answer, Robert Cohen. Bruce Allen is Smithers, a less lovable version of Smithers, but still Smithers-esque. Awesome. I mean, that's why
that was nailed.
That's why we do this. That's why the board is the greatest board in the world.
Though. Smithers is too competent.
Is there a Michael Scott out there? I know Kevin.
Smithers is way too likable.
Smithers is. He is actually a good person. I hate to saddle, and there's a lot of Married with Children references being
now
made.
You're talking.
Yeah, I have thought about putting out there. Okay, let's say Al Bundy. Who's the Al Bundy?
Ryan
Bundy.
Fitzpatrick.
Well, but it's
my Al Bundy.
Is it not Gibson who got the most? Didn't he get 3 touchdowns in one game?
Yeah.
I mean,
at Polk High.
Polk High.
2020.
AGH, really? Harry Potter? Come on, we're not doing that. But I love it.
He may be doing way more than just
drinking. Yeah, what's going on in Wales right now? I don't know what's happening.
You
just went from West Wing to Harry Potter. Unbelievable. Bruce Allen is not Jefferson. Greg, Jefferson Darcy was a national treasure. Everyone loved Jefferson Darcy.
But he was a bit of a dirtbag.
He was
a bit of a dirtbag. He was a bit squirrely, wasn't he?
All right, you guys are on the same wavelength. What about Bud? Bundy.
That's the toughest one. It's not a good character. You don't want to be Bud. Like
you don't want to be Bud.
J.D. McKissick. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like he's elusive, sharp, quick, and small.
All right. Tim, you got anything to add before we call quits on this one?
No.
All right.
No one got a Woody? No. There was not
no.
one Woody.
Damn it.
No, it's sad.
Or a coach.
We didn't do many rookies, though, and Woody has that rookie feel as the new guy after Coach took off. And well,
may he rest in peace. I'll give Colt Brennan the Woody Harrells, the Woody character, because he was super fun. He always had something. I had the good fortune of being at some establishments that were chucking cold beers with Colt Brennan hanging out at the bar, and he was, he couldn't have picked me out of a lineup, but I sat next to him at the bar numerous occasions. He was a ton of fun. He kind of was he was in on. I don't want to say the joke because it wasn't a joke, but he was in on knowing, like, hey, listen, I know I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be an all-pro quarterback, but he was confident in his ability. He was a fun-loving, awesome guy to hang out with, as I'm sure Woody was, and a fan favorite for many reasons that people didn't get to know. Again, I was not, by any stretch super tight with him, but I very much appreciated his energy, and I'll give him the Woody.
Let me just say he developed quite a relationship with our mutual friend Brian Calabrese in Hawaii. Brian and him were close.
Yep.
And this man, what he did for the culture of the Hawaii football program, how he adopted everything they did, and how he became, and there's a term for him, and it's a beautiful word, and part of their language, that, just someone from somewhere else that became one of us. Yeah. He was so embraced that culture would not embrace outsiders. That guy was different. He was a special guy. Forget about football, where he threw 50 touchdowns one damn year, I believe, for the Rainbows. But he was a special guy, man, and I'm glad you got the chance to hang out with him. And hearing Brian Calabrese talk about that guy, and we don't talk about this stuff too much, but What a champion of life who happened to play quarterback.
Yep, he happened to play quarterback. May he rest in peace, and may his memory provide positive thoughts and feelings for all the folks whose lives he touched. 2 more names, and then we'll call it quits. Fred Smoot and Clinton Portis. Feel like we can't get out without giving them a character or two.
Listen, that's. I'm gonna just say that's the Vincent Vega, Jules Winfield of their era. Like, that's the funniest combo. I mean, come on, man. Like, what version of Clinton Portis are we going?
He had a screw loose, and he was.
That's awesome.
Man, he was awesome. He was fun. Another guy, and obviously,
those 2 characters, they exceed what we have here on the paper.
That's true.
Those 2 characters we're talking about, they're their own. They're their own sitcom. Hasn't been filmed yet, but hey, let's get on that. Let's get those 2 together and start a whole new conversation.
We are coming back next week. Well, we have an awesome guest on our first show, a local athletic director who we think is a very, very classy individual. That'll be step 1 next Tuesday night. And after that, who knows? I'm going to work with these 2 gentlemen to see if we can't have just a little bit more fun. Because before long, we're going to have some actual football to talk about. Guys are going to be in camp wearing pads. Some of them will have the tape on their helmet because they're rookies. They don't get their names just quite yet. They got to earn that. People will be fighting for jobs. Position battles will be taking shape. That's not happening just quite yet. But never will we miss an opportunity to have fun taking the chance to talk about our guys. So, again, thanks for playing along. Appreciate you guys for doing that. Thanks to the board for humoring us, and also for HEH, a weird show. Indeed, sir, indeed. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. By the way, you contributed, HEH. You added some weirdness.
The weirdest way.
You sprinkled in a little weirdness from over the pond. Want to say thanks to Kyle working the boards for us tonight, making us look good, giving us a little production value.
Nice job, Kyle.
Doing it. He is. I don't know, but he might be the Homer Simpson of what we got going on. Oh, he faded us to black. We're back.
No.
We are going to be back in 7 days. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Super weird night. I'm taking next week off. Because
that's a verbal contract. That's a verbal contract.
He's actually off next week.
I'll be back in 2 weeks.
Oh, you actually are? You're out?
I'm going to the beach.
You haven't. Your PTO is. I forgot. We approved it last week. It's going to be great.
As weird as the show was, it was perfect timing. I just took my final sip. Cheers to doing a weird show with.
He's Kevin Ricca.
Guys.
He always brings the weirdness in a different way. Greg, by the way, Dan Snyder is not even close. The fact that you even brought Randy Marsh's name into that conversation. We're going to have some words. Randy Marsh is one of the greatest characters on the tube right this
How are you going
to
get him all fired up this late on a Tuesday?
Right at the end. Thank you so much once again. We'll see you next week. On behalf of First Amendment Sports and Hogs Haven, this was Thank God It's Tuesday. Ken Marangolo. See you guys next week.
What did Randy Marsh ever do to Greg Martin?
I don't know, but that's just mean. It's mean-spirited. We're still live.